Hey everyone, it's Patrick Scott. Uh, Today, I wanted to talk about hiring software engineers. Specifically, being hired as a software engineer, as like a senior technical talent. Because I think that the interview process for junior developers and for seniors can and should be different. Uh, so to kind of get that point across, I want to tell you a couple stories. So I've been working in professionally as a software engineer since I graduated college in 2010. But I've been engineering for many years ahead of that. So even in my first job as a UX engineer, um, I was part of the interview process. And I think that's pretty common at places I've been to, is getting the whole team involved in an interview process. But the way that each company conducts their interviews is kind of different. So I want to talk about my favorite interview process and what that was like. And I think it's a really effective process if you're hiring like senior talent. So basically, I was told, bring a project and prepare a presentation and present it to the team. And this is pretty different than a lot of tech interviews. A lot of them are like, solve this problem like on a whiteboard, they're like, how do you like rewrite reduce instead of using the library, like make your own version of it, stuff like that, which can be like a little esoteric. And I think I got some advice several years back that was pretty good as far as interviews go, which is, instead of looking for reasons not to hire someone, look for reasons to hire someone. Like, if someone is teaching you something that you don't know, like, that's a really good sign. That's what you want when you're hiring people, right? Like, you want people who can do what you don't do. Like, when you reach a problem, you're like, who can solve it? Like, that's the person, like the one that can teach you how to do it. So for this interview that I did, I was able to, I'm a senior engineer, so I have a whole bunch of work that I can show. Like, I have a whole bunch of open source projects, I have my personal projects that I've worked on, and I have customer projects, which I'm usually not allowed to show. But as a senior engineer, I do have like a whole bunch of stuff I've done throughout my career. So this company, their entire interview process was one meeting. They had all of the engineers on the team come in, and I came in with my laptop, hooked up my laptop to the projector, and I gave a presentation to this company about my process that I go through when I make microservices. And I showed them like the architecture diagram, showed them examples of a couple of those microservices, and etc. And they ended up making me an offer because I was really able to clearly demonstrate my value. Like, what is it that I do well? And they let me choose that, instead of coming in with like a set of predetermined questions, like that may or may not be a good fit for the candidate, and it may cause you to focus more on what they can't do rather than what they can. So the interview process, like I said, it was just me coming in and giving this presentation, and then afterwards I got lunch with that team, and we just sat and talked for like another hour. And when you get a whole bunch of engineers in a room, like, and you start talking shop, like, you go into details, like, you can tell who does it. Like, you can tell who doesn't. Like, you can tell when somebody really knows what they're talking about or not. So, look for some reasons to hire people rather than looking for reasons not to. And this really simple interview structure, I think, is a really, really great way to do that for top talent. Let it be on them, you know? Save yourself the effort. And then with every candidate that comes to you, they're presenting you what they're passionate about too, you know? So if the thing they're passionate about is great, even if it's not what you're interested in, then maybe they're not a fit for your team, but at least you know what it is that they love, what they really bring to the table, instead of trying to having this preconceived notion of what a great person should be, and then trying to make people fit in that box. So that was definitely my favorite interview that I've ever been on as an engineer, and since then I've started using it for hiring my own candidates. And man, I've worked with some of the best engineers through this process. This guy named Vlad, who's good friends with Eric Evans, we gave him this project, this same type of interview. We said, just bring in a project that you're proud of, that you want to show us, and present it to us and teach us something. And the people that can do that, they're the leaders, you know? They're the ones that have gotten to that point where they know what they know really well, and they're ready to teach it and help share with others. And that's a really important thing as a senior engineer, you know, because you want someone who can help mentor junior engineers as well. And this interview process is proving that also, in a way. So next time you have an interview, if you're hiring some senior talent, I'd encourage you to try it out. It's been super effective for me. So I'd love to hear about it if you do as well. So if you do try this interview technique, and it's so funny because it requires so little preparation on your part too. You gotta screen the candidates, and once you find good ones, you're like, all right, man, impress me. And some of them do. So if you tried this, I would love to hear about it. Reach out to me on Twitter. You can find me at Pat_Scott. And I also write a ton about the things that it takes to succeed as a technical co-founder, from a business perspective and a technical perspective, on my Medium. You can find me on Medium and GitHub at Patrick Leet. That's PatrickLeet. Thanks so much for listening, guys. And again, I'd love to hear about any feedback if you've tried this process and if you've liked it. It's really simple and straightforward. It's not really the best for junior people because they don't have necessarily projects that they can come in and show you. But if you're recruiting for some top engineers, a simple process will go a long way. I mean, a lot of companies reach out to me. I get several emails a day with companies trying to recruit me. So I've seen a lot of interview processes. I've seen what a lot of people are looking for, and I'll be honest, if someone emails me and they're like, all right, you just got to do this 8-hour coding challenge, no, I'm not doing that. Look at my blog, look at my GitHub, look at there's plenty of resources online that prove that I know what I'm talking about. And if you want me to do 8 hours of work for free, it's not gonna happen. All right, everyone, I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.